Long Distance USA, a sprint company in support of the youth of today. And by Matson Navigation Company. Aloha, I'm Wayne Chang with Robin McClure. Soon, the student body of the high school division of the Kamehameha schools will be filing in, taking their places.
And I'm sure that each one of them is feeling the excitement, the anticipation that is in the air. They've been preparing for this night for the past 6 weeks, and each one of them is eager for their turn to sing.
Yes, Robin. They must feel the butterflies right now, not only for the impending competition, but because this is a special year for all Hawaiians, and tonight's song contest reflects this. The theme of this year's event has great significance for each student, for each person here. It is a concept that will affect each one of their lives. On the island of Maui, Kamehameha the Great began the battles that would unite these Hawaiian islands. And invasions filled the bay at Wailuku. Confronted by superior forces, faced with cannon and muskets, the defending armies of Kalanikupule retreated inland towards the slopes of Iao Valley. It is reported that Kamehameha addressed his troops before that decisive battle. He called upon his men to meet the challenge ahead. Go forward, young brothers, and drink of the bitter waters, for there is no turning back. Kamehameha's cannon fired into Iao Valley, routing the defenders. His foot soldiers marched into the valley, and a slaughter began. So many were killed that their bodies stopped the flow of the river, giving the battle its name, Kipanivai, the damming of the waters. Many witnesses recalled that the river ran red with blood down to the sea.
Imua ena poki, e nui kawai awa, a o he hope hoi mai.
The challenge presented by Kamehameha the Great still echoes from Iao Valley. And through the years, Hawaiians have heard his call. Each generation tasting of the bitter waters. Each generation surviving. Each generation holding fast to a Hawaiian way of life.
One of the neat things about Olelo, about Hawaiian language, is its ability to capture so many different ideas that you can read into and capture mana from. In terms of bitter waters, I like the way that describes the challenges that Hawaiian people have faced since contact. Whether it be diseases which overcame our population, whether it's the suppression of language, of cultural practices. I think all of these things are really bitter waters. And with a statement like, go forward anyway, it says that we believe that we're going to get past these bitter waters, and the waters will not continue to be bitter. Someday, at some point in time, those waters are going to become sweet. And so after all this time, we're not going to retreat.
January 1778. The ships of Captain James Cook approached Waimea, a kauhale or village on West Kauai. outrigger canoes sailed out to meet the Westerners. Taro, pigs, and food. From that first moment of contact, the seeds of destruction were planted. The sailors had brought Western diseases to a population without natural immunities. Soon, smallpox, cholera, measles, syphilis, and other epidemics would ravage the Hawaiian people. The native population would decrease from an estimated 300,000 to only 53,000, just 100 years after contact. During this period of decline, Hawaiians were forced to adapt to a new way of life. Many were uprooted from their land, becoming workers for the Westerners. Alcohol, tobacco, and Western foods became prevalent. Soon, among Hawaiians, an unhealthy life, depression, and an early death became common. Today, in the very community where Captain Cook first landed, Hawaiians are rediscovering their birthright of strong, healthy lives.
In fact, if you look at it, if you look at where Captain Cook wrote or the other people wrote, they talked of strong body, strong limb, very graceful, very athletic.
In order to restore the naturally healthy state of native Hawaiians, Dr. Young and others formed a group called Ho'ola Lahui Hawaii.
Previously, they would say, well, I'm 45 years of age, I lived my life, nothing more, and they would stop. But now the native Hawaiians and the community on West Kauai are looking at each other. They're looking at it and they're saying, we shouldn't be, 45 is the prime of our life. 55s are the prime of our life. Who's going to pass on the heritage? So that there has been a significant change.
From this group of concerned Hawaiians came the song Ho'ola Lahui Hawaii, written by Dr. Young and Ilei Beniamina.
This one doctor, Hiram Young, concerned about all of this affair, sits down and has his poetic mind, and he's sitting, well, the flowers are blooming, yet they're dying so quickly. They're being plucked in their prime.
You read and you see, and people say the statistics also are bad with native Hawaiian health, but it's something else when you have to be there and you have to see it, and you live in a small community, and every time you're seeing people that you know or care about start passing away, and in the end I guess what it was really written was out of frustration and anger.
But Hiram's vision of the dying flowers, the dying people, would be transformed by Ilei's mother, Jean Keale.
We show it to Mama, and Mama says, you're not going to do that. You're not going to show the negative side of flowers that die. What flowers are dying? With your help, the flowers will be blooming. She just automatically says, no, it's not nice to give out this bad mana, or to give out this bad wording, or the negative side. It's not my kai, or else the wind will hear it and carry it off and make it come true. So don't utter negative things.
So Ilei's mother rewrote the lyrics, giving it a positive message. The sun gives life to our blossoms. Ilei's brother Kaimana gave it a melody. And this new version would inspire Hiram, Ilei, and all Hawaiians to give life to Hawaii's people.
Lahui Hawaii in the sense of their olelo. Ho'ola Lahui Hawaii in terms of their health. Ho'ola Lahui Hawaii now is in terms of their land. A wrong was done, so hence right the wrong. It can be done.
As predicted, this message would be carried on the wind, becoming the title song of an award-winning album.
Hiram Young.
A me o kou a whau o Hawaii I nei. Ho Maui ko ola ana I ka lāhui Hawaii. That was in 1987. Hoku Hano Hano, the song that meant so much, at least to us. It spoke from the heart of how we felt and what we saw that was happening in our small little Waimea community of Kauai.
The sophomore class will perform Ola La Hui Hawaii under the direction of Ian Castino.
I think this song has a lot to do with reaching out to the children, to us, to help to make that dream of getting our sovereignty back or getting our culture back. You know, so I think that's what this song is trying to communicate. It is our job to take our songs that we have been given this song contest and focus on our part, our role in being Hawaiian.
I mua e nā pōki'i, e inui ka wei awa awa, a o he hope hoi mai ei.
The waters were most bitter after the passing of Queen Liliuokalani. For winter went the sovereignty of Hawaii's people. For the first time, there was a generation born under American rule. For them, everything Hawaiian began to fade away.
But I hear from kupuna whose parents were right there in the overthrow. And some kupuna shared with me that they came home, they all got their family together, they closed all of the windows and wept. Because not just their sovereignty was taken away, their life, their foundation was taken away.
We girls would sneak and run over there to her place and visit with the queen. So I was very many times with the queen, visiting her, holding her hand, or sitting by her legs. You know, she's sitting down all the time in the garden, every day. Would sit with her, talk with her, sing with her, because she was always singing.
Since the age of 16, Hailama Farden has taken it upon himself to record the words of his kupuna. On cassettes and on video, Hailama preserves the experiences, the values, and the language of older generations.
Like Kamehameha said, "A'ohe hope e ho'i mai ai." You know, it's almost like saying there's no way you can go back. You can only go forward now. So by having this video, we're taking this video forward. We're bringing our kupuna who have passed on or who are, you know, with us now. We're taking them all the way into the future generations with us.
Hei vakalua, kumamaono, helu oi.
As a teacher of Hawaiian language, Hailama passes his knowledge forward to the next generation.
As far as Hawaiian culture, it's like a house. And your language is your foundation. And without your foundation of Hawaiian language, you can't have your house. You can't have that complete house. You need your foundation there. People say, "Oh well, I do this and I do that and I do this," but it's still not the same without your language.
This house was kept standing by pockets of native speakers, now in their 80s and 90s.
Some were wrapped with a ruler on the tips of their fingers. They're severely beaten for speaking our own language. What a shame. And they didn't want to see, they loved their children so much. They did not want their children to have to go through that. So that's why they didn't teach it to them.
Even at Kamehameha schools, Hawaiian was not encouraged. Francis Dunn Silva is one of that first generation of natives to be born under the American flag.
So they kept insisting that we speak English all the time. There were a few girls who still spoke Hawaiian away from classes. but the house mothers were always around. Speak English.
It was believed that the only way Hawaiian children could compete and survive was to learn the ways of Westerners. Emphasis was put on marketable skills, industrial arts and agriculture for the boys, office skills and nursing for the girls. It was thought that there was no need for frivolous activities such as the hula. Still, the students held on to their Hawaiian heritage.
We took lessons outside, away from school. We took our own lessons. We learned, and we came back to school and we taught the other girls. I guess we just kept at it. We danced when we were not around the teachers. When the teachers were not there to tell us to stop, we danced.
It is a testament to this generation that Hawaiian traditions survived till the present. Away from the mainstream, a few hula masters preserved their art and the chants. In rural villages, many held on to the old ways. For them, Lili'uokalani was still Hawaii's ruler.
When I walked up and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I bent down and I kissed the ring on her finger and I looked at her again and she looked at me, and I went on and the next one came along. They were quiet. The children didn't have to be scolded or stopped or anything. They just felt in the presence of someone that was very popular. When I went home that afternoon, I was so excited and I told my mother that the Queen came to school.
It was a time of great change. Tourism was expanding rapidly. World War II would thrust these sleepy islands into the world arena. And into Hawaii came the military, new businesses, and a constant influx of newcomers.
So we had a new kind of community coming into Hawaii, crowding into this place. And you could feel that there was a scramble, you know, for jobs and scramble for homes, better houses, or even just to have a shelter.
For Edna Farden Beckert and other Hawaiians of her generation, it was a time of difficult adjustment.
We knew that we had to get out there and compete. So how do you compete? You can't just sit down and cry big tears and feel sad about the passing of time and the passing of the old ways.
In 1949, Edna Beckert began her teaching career at Kamehameha. And although the Hawaiian language was still not taught, the school was one place where Hawaiians could share a common experience and hold on to their Hawaiian values.
No, we didn't really come out and speak Hawaiian to all, you know, the children. However, there was this Hawaiianness, the feeling of togetherness. And you know, to me, that was powerful. See, Hawaiians have a unique kind of lifestyle that is difficult for a lot of outsiders to understand unless they come here to live with us, and then they realize that it's just not hula and singing songs. It's more than that.
But the image persisted. A swaying Polynesian beauty with graceful hands came to represent Hawaii to most tourists. Even for many residents, the entertainment industry was their main contact with Hawaiian culture.
But remember, this kind of hula was more to entertain the visitor, you know. There was no attempt to bring back the old hula or the rituals or the old chants, you know. because we're misunderstood. Many of the Hawaiian chants were misunderstood. And so they were considered evil and lascivious because they were not translated the way the Hawaiian thought was.
During her childhood, Edna was immersed in Hawaiian culture. At the Farden home in Lahaina, known as Puamana, Hawaiian music and Hawaiian language was part of daily life. Noted musicians like Charles E. King were regular guests of her parents.
Well, they spoke the language fluently, and they spoke to each other, and when Hawaiian people came to our home, that's the way they conversed in Hawaiian, the Hawaiian language.
One of Edna's sisters, Emma Sharp, would become a noted hula master. And another, Ermengarde Aluli, is a popular musician and composer. Although an accomplished composer herself, Edna Farden Beckert dedicated her life to the young students of Kamehameha, planting the seeds for Hawaii's future.
There are all these different causes coming together now, and I think the Hawaiian people realize that they're talking about the same thing, you know, being Hawaiian and being allowed to be Hawaiian, being allowed to reclaim their place in this society.
Imua e nā pōki'i, e nui ka wei awa awa, a o he hope hoi mai ei.
You know, that 30,000 hotel rooms that feed this state, all this box, come from our aloha spirit. We no more oil like the Alaskans. We no more gold like the Indians, but we get aloha. And you guys suck on the drain, polluting our ocean over here, our sacred grounds that belong to Kahapahau, or Mano.
During the 60s and 70s, many young Hawaiians began to express themselves, to speak of their generation's bitter waters. Hawaii was becoming less Hawaiian, becoming increasingly foreign to natives.
When we travel to Hana, we go Kohala, we go Molokai, we go Kauai, to the rural areas where our native Hawaiian people live. When real property taxes shoot up, you know, they cannot afford. When water being distributed someplace else for development.
At first, many Hawaiians did not approve of the activists.
I remember my family just being quite disgusted with the whole thing. Not so much the issue, but how it was coming across. Being disobedient and how embarrassing and, you know, yelling at each other. And so I thought, well, right. You know, we don't like that. That's not how we're supposed to act. Today, however, we know that you don't always get what you want by following the rules and going by the book. Sometimes you need to do something out of the ordinary to get the attention of people, and it works.
As were raised, it was time to address those concerns, to get to work. For Kawanoi Kamana, the challenge was the perpetuation of Olelo, the Hawaiian language.
What is a Hawaiian today? And with all of the intermarriage with the Hawaiian people for all of these years, the Hawaiian blood quantity is getting very, very small. So we believe that the Hawaiian language is the one thing that can draw us together as a people. Hawaiian language, or language to anyone, is the code of our behavior and our being as a people. And we have come so far away from that, that we need to know our language to know how we think as Hawaiians.
Kawanoi was part of a small group of teachers credited with establishing Punana Leo, a Hawaiian language immersion preschool. Her 2 children speak the language fluently. The survival of our olelo and of our Hawaiian identity will be their generation's responsibility.
Whatever comes, whatever will happen, we will go forward together and drink it, inu ikawai ava ava, the bitter waters that lie ahead. And they go together and united in doing that. And that definitely is something that we need to remember today as Hawaiians in determining our unity, in determining our goal, in determining our future as Hawaiians.
1, 2, 3.
The future should be determined by Hawaiian values, a view expressed by this song, Alulike. Being performed by the junior girls, it was composed by Haunani Apoleona.
Be able to balance and consider the others, be able to listen, observe and watch critically, and then be ready to work. Some of the basics that are still in the Alulike song.
The song was written for Alulike, an organization dedicated to helping Hawaiians, a group imbued with strong traditional values.
In the language comes much of the culture, comes much of the values. In the transmittal of that language, in the teaching to the young children, they're also learning values. We who are never fading flowers, and we shouldn't be afraid to work. We come from a heritage and a tradition that are workers.
When you read the meaning of the song, you get kind of motivated to strive for the best, work together. That's basically what she's trying to say, is work together. To get something done, you cannot be individuals. You have to work together to get it.
And so even in today's times, we as Hawaiians need to be focused. We need to, as the theme says, inu ikawai ava ava, sometimes drink that bitter water, and continue to believe so that we can move forward.
The future belongs to the young men and women of Kamehameha schools. They have been given a challenge and a light to carry and pass on to the next generation.
But we cannot continue into the future until we remember and are ever mindful of that which produced us. And in my mind, I always picture it's like if we were to take all the wonderful things that happened in the past and carry them in our arms, like a bundle of fruit or pu'olo, and it's all of these things that contribute to who I am today. So instead of just saying my name, I'm able to present all of these pu'olo, all of these bundles of things that have happened in my history. And people will know me better by knowing these bundles that are in my hand.
Imua e nā pōki, e inu ka wei awa awa, a o he hope hoi mai ei.
Aloha, and welcome to the 71st Annual Kamehameha School Song Contest. I'm Wayne Chang, Director of Admissions at the schools, with Robin Makua, Hawaiian language teacher on the Kamehameha campus.
Aloha mai e nā hoa makamaka, mai ka moku puni nui o ke ave I ke kahi ali'i o ka moku, a hiki I ni'i hau o ka helelani. Thank you, Wayne, and welcome everyone. 1993 marks an auspicious year for the Hawaiian community, and the students of Kamehameha are very much aware of this. Tonight's song contest is more than a night of musical competition. It is also serving as a Hawaiian history lesson, tracing events of the past and exploring the possibilities for the future.
Tonight, the students and staff of the only Hawaiian school in the world pay tribute to their legacy and their country with Imua e nā pō ki'i.
Go forward, young brothers. It signifies the need for Hawaiians to come together as family and move onward for the good of the nation. Each song performed tonight reflects the loyalty that past and present Hawaiians feel towards their homeland.
And tonight's ho'ike is also a commemoration of Hawaii's queen, Lili'uokalani. With more on ho'ike, joining us at the main stage is Kamehameha School's Bishop of States, Elisa Yadao.
Aloha. Tonight the students pay tribute to their unique heritage with the song contest. And in what has become one of the hallmarks of this event, the ho'ike, you will see a display of chant, dance, and storytelling like no other. A dedicated group of students and staff has been working to bring history to life. Tonight you will see the story of Hawaii's last monarch through their artistry, her birth, life, rise to leadership, and ultimate overthrow. Wayne and Robin, I'll join you again before ho'ike begins. For now, let's enjoy another wonderful night of the Voices of Kamehameha.
Thank you, Elisa. It looks like the classes are all seated and ready to begin, Robin.
I'm excited, Wayne. As a teacher, tonight's event should prove to be more than just a song contest. It will be an educational experience that will hold special meaning for each of these 1,700 students.
For 1993, the men of Kamehameha begin the show. The order of performance by each class within a category is determined by a drawing, and the freshman class will compete only in the combined class competition. Tonight, as each song leader steps up to the podium, we will hear their thoughts on song contest as they prepare their class to sing. You know, Robin, this is a really interesting year, 1993, the 71st Song Contest. The Song Contest has come a long way from being on the steps of the Bishop Museum.
Certainly has, Wayne. I'm very excited.
Take a look now and enjoy this, the 71st Annual Song Contest.
Ua mohala te pua ua e mai ua lana ia ala o ta o di pa ni mai o a o e mai e honi mai te ala o ta o ki pa.
Program, this Oli that just was done, was performed by Senior Marcus Antai, son of Clifford and Yvonne Antai of Kaimaki. Now offering the pule tonight is Mahina Matsuyoshi of Kapa'a, Kauai.
Mahina is the daughter of Nobuhiro and Kathy Matsuyoshi.
Please rise for the pule. E pule kako. E ke akua ma nā lani ki e ia māko ka ohana o Kamehameha. Ua a koa māko maanei no ke ia a ho'okuku mele kanahiku kumakahi. Ke mahalo ni māko ia oi I ko ho'opō mai ka I ana mai ia māko a pau. Mahalo māko ia pauahi ke ali'i I kona aloha no nā mamo ke ia pai aina nei o Hawaii. Ke nonoi ni māko ia oi I ko ho'opō mai kai I nā alaka I mele
na alaka I papa, na poe ha'i o lelo, na kumu, na haumana, a me na poe kokua e ae. Ma ka hopena o keia a ho'okuku mele, nau noa ki ai, a e malama ia mākou, I ko mākou ho'i ana I ka hale. Me ku'u leo ha'a, e na noi aku ia oi, ma ka inoa kau keiki hiva hiva o Yesu Christo. Amene.
Leading the assembly in Sons of Hawaii, the school song, is Kaleo Trinidad of Kalihi. His parents are Jerry and Pamela Trinidad.
One of the best ways to get unity in a class is to show them how good the song is. So maybe if you're like really excited about the song, or if you really know what you're talking about when you're teaching the song, they can really see what you're trying to accomplish.
Wow, Wayne, that really gives me chicken skin every time I hear that song. Introducing our honored guests, Ho'okipa Mai is Pohai Kukea of the class of 93. Pohai is the student body president. She is the daughter of Kahele Kukea and Catherine Gold.
O hea o koe nā mamo aloha, mai ka pi'ina ka la I hae hae, ai ka mole olu o lehua, ano ai ka kou. Welcome to Kamehameha School's 71st Annual Song Contest. The theme for this year's song contest is historically significant, for these words were uttered by Kamehameha Ekahi prior to the Battle of Kepanivai at Iao Maui. He said, I mua e nā pōki'i, a inu I ka vai ava ava, a ohe hope e ho'i mai ai. Go forward, young brothers, and drink of the bitter waters. There is no turning back. In referring to his warriors as pōki'i, Kamehameha reveals to us that he thought of them not as mere warriors, but more as a part of his family. The songs that we will be singing tonight are dear to Hawaiians because they reveal who we are and what we value and cherish. And now, I would like to introduce to you our special guests who have joined us this evening. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. The trustees of the Kamehameha School's Bernice Pauahi Bishop Estate, Mr. Myron Thompson and Laura Thompson. Mr. Henry Peters and Carolyn Peters. Mr. Oswald Stender and Ku'ulei Stender. Mr. Richard Wong and Marie Wong. And Mrs. Lokelani Lindsay and Steve Lindsay. The President of Kamehameha Schools, Dr. Michael Chun and Baina Chun. And finally, the Principal of Kamehameha Secondary School, Mr. Anthony Ramis and Suzanne Ramis. And so, my fellow Poki'i, like Kamehameha the Great inspired his warriors before battle, I too would like to inspire you with these words. Imua e napua pawahi, e himeni like kako, a e lave lilo ka haaheo no ka lahui Hawaii.
Introducing the judges for this evening's contest is Senior Lenny Hubbard. She hails from Pupukea and is the daughter of Lewis and Barbara Hubbard.
Aloha kako. Each year at Song Contest, the judges are faced with the arduous task of selecting the most impressive class. I have the pleasure of introducing the 5 judges of tonight's competition. Please hold your applause until all have been announced. We have with us 2 language judges. The first, Miss Liana K. Iaia Honda, is a Hawaiian language teacher at Hilo High School. She was previously a teacher at Kamehameha and a graduate of the class of 1977. She is also an active participant in the Hawaiian Language Immersion Program. The second, Mr. Kamoa'e Wak, is a Hawaiian language instructor at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. He was previously an instructor at Hawaii's Brigham Young University. We also have with us 2 choral judges. The first, Miss Debbie Kelsey, is the Assistant Choral Director at the University Lab School. She also directs the choirs of the Queen Emma and Prince Kuhio Hawaiian Civic Clubs and is the music coordinator at the University Avenue Baptist Church. The second, Mr. Jimmy Kealohalani Kaina, a 1955 graduate of Kamehameha, is on staff with the Communications Department of the Hawaii Visitors Bureau in Honolulu. He is also a vocalist of Hawaiian, popular, and classical music who has made various national and international appearances. And finally, the overall judge is Mr. Manu Boyd, a 1980 graduate of Kamehameha. He is a culture specialist for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and is the leader and arranger for the Hawaiian music group Ho'okena. He is also a composer and has won 4 Nahoku Hanohano Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the judges.
Before the competition begins, Dr. Michael Chun, president of the schools, has a very special presentation to make.
Presenting a special award this evening is our president, Dr. Michael Chun.
The Order of Keali'i Pauahi is awarded to individuals who have demonstrated long-time support of Kamehameha School Bishop Estate. It recognizes and honors those that have made significant contributions to further the purposes and programs of this great institution. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to award the Order of Keali'i Pauahi to Dorothy Kahananui Gillette. The 1936 Kamehameha School for Girls valedictorian, Dorothy Gillette, is an award-winning director and arranger whose name really has become synonymous with Hawaiian choral music. She was a music instructor and a curriculum developer at Kamehameha schools for 14 years and was the assistant music director from 1954 through 1957. Mrs. Gillette directed the Kamehameha Centennial and has directed the Kamehameha Alumni Glee Club for 24 years. She has arranged more than 30 songs for our annual song contest, as well as the Alumni Glee Club and their performances and many other special events. Mrs. Gillette this evening, unfortunately, cannot be with us, but she's at home watching tonight's song contest on television. Longtime friend and Alumni Glee Club President Fred Cachola will accept tonight's award. Mrs. Gillette, on behalf of all of us here at Neil Blaisdell Arena and the entire Kamehameha Ohana, mahalo for your many years of devoted service, and aloha nui loa.
Again, a very special award for Mrs. Dorothy Gillette. We wish you well and hope that after all these years of work, we have acknowledged you, hopefully in a kind way. This year is the men's turn to lead off the competition. Brandy Barrett, a senior, introduces the competition. She is the daughter of Henry and Deborah Barrett.
Mai o a o ke aina o Hawaii. Velina. Tonight, the men of Kamehameha will sing for you their respective songs. The sophomore, junior, and senior men will display their voices in hopes of capturing the George Allenson Andrus Cup. Will the sophomore men, a new addition to the competition, maybe the juniors will take it this year? Or will it be the senior men in their final competition? Before you prejudge any one class, listen and enjoy. May I have the order, please? Singing first in tonight's competition will be the sophomore men. Senior men, you will sing second for us tonight, and last we will hear the voices of the junior men. E ho'olohe a e nā nea, ina leo kanilea o nā koa o Kamehameha.
Kukuni Agard introduces the South as their class president. His parents are Louis Agard III and Carol Agard.
Mai Hawaii o ka lua pele o Kilauea, aini o ka pali o Pāni'au. The sophomore man's song describes one man's quest for his identity. After his extended stay abroad, he decides to go to Hawaii. Upon his return, he finds the answer in his heart when he realizes that his place is here, Hawaii. This discovery compels him never to wander again, as he asserts, Maupopo vau ua ike ho'i, he Hawaii-o. Tonight, Ian Tan leads the men of the class of 1995 in He Hawaii-o.
Stepping up now, Ian is the son of Herbert and Mary Chun.
I think it's good that we're getting back in touch with our roots and that we're learning more about what our ancestors did and how we can preserve that.
Ian is a troop guide in the Boy Scouts and plays in the Warrior Marching Band.
Ke ia
Very good performance by the sophomore men. Again, this is their first time in the competition as men. We look forward to them.
Chris Henderson, the publicity director of the class of '93, introduces the senior men. He is the son of Denny and Noreen Clement.
Awe na li'i, na maka ai nana, ka lehu lehu a pau o ki au puni. When King Kamehameha V wanted a Hawaiian national anthem, he turned to Lili Uo Kalani. He mele la hui Hawaii was the answer to his request. Alika Hollister will lead us in our rendition of Hemele La Hui Hawaii. The senior men will sing with enduring power and love. Love for our nation, love for our land, and love for our queen. Eola, Eola kamo I mau.
Alexander Alika Hollister, the son of Bradley and Haunani Hollister of Kailua Kona, knows the importance of his chosen song.
This song is part of history. It's something that they can lean against so that they can go forward.
Maho
Okay, this song that the seniors just did so well, it was the first national anthem of Hawaii. And that just brings back many memories of what was and what hopefully will be again. We now go to Justin Reduya, who will introduce the junior men. He is the son of Gerardo and Jane Reduya of Kalihi.
E ala e nā kini, nā kupa, nā pua o ka aina. Aloha ahiahi ka ko a pau. The people of Hawaii have always enjoyed a strong sense of lokahi, expressed through songs and dances. Our song, Kalahano o Kana'io Puni, captures the essence of this idea as it calls out to the people from Hawaii to Ni'iho to rise and rejoice as we celebrate the birthday of the conqueror. Tonight, the junior men, under the direction of Monty McComber, will rise and sing with unity as we perform Kalahano o Kana'io Puni.
Monty is from Ka'u, Hawaii. His parents are Monty and Helen McComber. Monty's Hanai parents are Donald and Ellen McComber, his grandparents.
This song really speaks to me also, that I have to stand up and help perpetuate my culture. And through this song, I hope to send a message to my men, to the community of Hawaii.
Indeed, all arise in unity. Boy, a lot of people swaying in here.
The beautiful voices of the women of Kamehameha are introduced by Senior Keola Montauban, a Waipahu. He is the son of Dan and Georgette Montauban.
Mai Hawaii, a ka lehua e ulu nei, ai ni I hau, me nā pūpū e kaulana nei. Aloha mai, Tonight, let the women of Kamehameha take you to another realm, where we take pride in our traditions, where we work together for a common cause, where we strive for enduring peace. May I have the order, please? Starting the women's competition would be the senior women. Next, the sophomore women. And finally, the junior women. Imua e nā pōki'i, e kuli ke kāko, a e mau ana ka ha'a heo.
Tammy Lim, president of the senior class, presents the senior women.
The daughter of Larry and Reen of Honolulu, Tammy plays the violin and piano.
Aloha mai e ka po'e, mai Hawaii nui kuauli, ai kaua'i o mano kalani po. This was a call of Kanaiaupuni, Kamehameha the Great, as he beckoned his island chiefs together. He urged them to unite with one heart, one thought, and one love to preserve the land in peace and righteousness. This evening, the senior women heed the words of Kamehameha and join with one voice to perpetuate this message of peace. Under the direction of Elena Savai'inaea, the senior women present their choice song, Kanaiaupuni. Ai keia manava, eia nā wahine. O ka papa umi ku mālua.
Elena Savai'inaea is the daughter of Kelly Mahilona of Kaimiki. She knows her role well.
I feel that if you want the class to sing the way you want them to sing, you have to direct the way you want them to sing. You have to be enthusiastic, you have to be dynamic, you have to be confident, and they'll sing that way too.
the senior women in this division of competition.
Presenting the sophomore women is Shalene Kiskarin of Wai'anae, the daughter of Andrew and Lucy Kiskarin.
E kalahui pono'i ona kai e walu. Hillary Meyer will direct the sophomore women in E Moana Kaha'aheo. This mele was composed by Haunani Apoliona and implores all Hawaiian people to light the torch of justice and affirm pride in our culture. And like Kamehameha's words to his warriors, the sophomore women shall not retreat, but bring new life and the reawakening. Me kia aloha a me kia honui.
Hillary Meyer's parents are William Kapololu Jr. and Carlene Meyer. She doesn't see the competition as dividing the school.
Even though we're competing, you know, you still feel aloha towards the other class members, and I feel that it brings us all together.
By the sophomore women. You know, it's their first year of competition in this Women's Cup, and they have just said to the junior and the senior women, we are here.
Introducing the junior women is Jacqueline Ng, the daughter of Peter and Doris Ng. She is the treasurer for the class of '94.
E na pua nani, na pua mai ole o Hawaii. E hana kako me ka oya i'o. Ameka ha'a. Beautiful and handsome descendants, let us work together with sincerity and humbleness. This wise saying of long ago is so poignantly expressed in the junior women's interpretation of Haunani Apolliona's song, Alulike, directed by Reina Kehaulani Lam. E alulike mai kako e na uwivio Hawaii.
Reina Lam, daughter of David and Bernie Lam of Wai'anae, told us that this hasn't been an easy year for her class.
In our class, we've been having a little bit of problems, and the only way we're going to get through them and do a good job at song contests is if we work together and try to come together as one class to perform at song contests.
From the junior women to always work together with sincerity and humbleness. Very good, juniors.
Freshman Kahealani Brown of Kaneohe, daughter of John and Barbara Brown, has the honor of introducing the co-ed competition.
Mai kala hiki mai, a kala kauae, aloha e na kanaka mauli. We are now entering the final competition of the night, the co-ed division. You will be taken on a journey of Hawaiian history, beginning with the 1975 protest of the bombing of Kaho'olawe to 1987, the year of the Hawaiian. As part of our journey, the senior class, directed by Snowbird Bento, will entertain you with Hawaii Loa, composed by Liko Martin. Mele no Kaho'olawe, which was written by Harry Kunihi Mitchell in honor of Kaho'olawe, will be performed by the junior class under the direction of Kekoa Kaluhiwa. Ian Castino will lead the sophomore class in Ho'ola Lahui, Hawaii. Written by Ilealoha Kiale Beniamina and Moon Kawakahi, this song expresses the importance of the perpetuation of the Hawaiian race. And finally, the freshman class, under the direction of Kamalani Wilson, will sing of the unity of the Hawaiian people in Ho'olako, Hawaii. This song by Wendell Silva was written for the celebration of the Year of the Hawaiian. May I have the order, please? The junior class will be singing last for you tonight. Third will be the sophomore class. The freshman class will be singing second, and starting it off this evening will be the seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of Kamehameha. Nā pua ui o ka aina ne e ola mau nā pua.
Leading the seniors in their co-ed number is first-year leader Snowbird Bento, the daughter of Terrence and Sterling Bento of Nanakuli. Snowbird knows that teamwork is important.
I interpret it as being like building a house, putting up the frameworks, but we need everyone together to help. And I told them that if we don't work together, the house will fall apart. We won't be able to put it up, and that if we can stand together, then it'll have a solid foundation.
Boy, what a final performance by the senior class. You know, I've watched Snowbird all these years, and she has really developed into a wonderful leader.
Freshman Kamalani Wilson of Hilo is the son of Nathan and Sandra Wilson. This is a big night for him.
I feel nervous. I feel great because it's the thrill and the excitement, because I've never been at a song contest before, especially leading the class, put in front of all the attention. It's just spooky, but it's good at the same time.
Okay, and as always happens, the freshman class, led by Kamalani, the rest of the juniors, seniors, and sophomores give them a standing ovation. So proud of them for their first year entering into the song contest.
Herbert Kekuavela and Victoria Costino will be watching their sophomore son Ian Costino lead his class again tonight. Ian sees the timeliness of his song.
It's time to realize that you've lost all these things, and that, you know, the chance to get it back is so near, and that it's not hard if we work together.
Oahu, Hawaii by Ile Benyamina, making a very good statement tonight.
The junior co-ed leader, Keikoa Kaluhiwa, has this advice for his class.
I would advise my class to understand the meaning of the words that they sing and to sing with feeling.
Keikoa is the son of Roland and Bernie Kaluhiwa of Kaneohe.
This is his third year as a song leader. As freshman, his class tied with the class of 91 for the Olelo Makoi Hine, or Language Award.
That ends the competition for this evening. What do you think, Wayne?
Well, it really is. I tell you, the co-ed competition, the level this year is just exceptional. I tell you, the freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors were really excellent in what they presented in terms of their song, the rendition, the control that the leaders had. I thought it was just an exceptional one this year. Okay, now everyone here will now join together to sing Imua Kamehameha, the school fight song. Senior Eric Nunes pulls the entire arena together in pride.
This whole resurgence is helping the culture and helping the people to go forward, Imua, to go forward and to become stronger together, unify. That's what we're aiming for, unity.
Eric hails from Kalihikai. His parents are Mana Nunes and Uilani Siasi.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's competition portion of the song contest has now come to a conclusion. For your entertainment, we have prepared a ho'ike. During the judges' tallying of scores, we will have our students prepare. Please allow for a brief intermission. And also, please return to your seats once the house lights have dimmed. Mahalo.
Hi, Robin, here we are. We had loss of power for a while. You know, no, I'm going to put you on a spot, Robin. Who's going to win tonight?
I'm bailing out of that one again. I think they've all done a wonderful job. The most important thing, no matter who wins, is that these students have truly internalized the meaning of these songs because of the importance of 1993 with the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy. We're commemorating the 100th anniversary, and with the kinds of songs describing the patriotism of the Hawaiians past and present, I think as long as they get the meaning and they can internalize those things, that's the greatest thing that'll come out of this song contest.
You know, they have traditional cups that they vie for. The cups are, of course, the Charles E. King Award, which is the co-ed cup. They vie for the New England Mothers Cup, which is the women's award. They also vie for the, help me, the Andrus Cup, which is the men's competition. They've had some new awards lately, and they have been the
Olelo
Makuahine
for the native language.
And that one was given to and named by a former trustee, Mr. Richard Lyman, and we miss him very much at these song contests, but that's another important cup. And there's one more for the best song leader.
That's the McGregor Award, right?
Louise Aoi McGregor was a woman who graduated from the first class of the Kamehameha School for Girls, and she was honored, especially by her own family, her son, who presented this trophy to the school. But you know, Robin, there's a brand new cup this year.
Yes, and it's especially close to our hearts because being alumni, the Kamehameha Schools Alumni Association has sponsored this cup. And why don't you tell everyone about what it's all about?
You know, we have the Olelo Makuahine Cup, which is for the very finest performance of our mother tongue, our Olelo. And it just seemed fitting that for years there was kind of an imbalance because we weren't giving an award for the best musical presentation. So the Alumni Association got together and wanted to give an award that was, we think, long overdue. For those of you who are Hawaiian music aficionados, you know that Charles E. King was the Dean of Hawaiian Music, and his equal through his lifetime was a woman by the name of Helen Deshay Beamer.
Right.
Helen Deshay Beamer graduated from Kamehameha in the year 1900. And many of you know her children who came through Kamehameha as well. Some know her grandchildren, the famous Mahi Beamer, a beautiful singer. His another grandchild, Auntie Nona Beamer, who used to work for years at Kamehameha and finally retired.
And I do believe that she also has descendants that are here singing in the contest tonight.
That's correct.
So it's a very special evening.
But what's important is Helen Deshay Beamer, she had 5 children, and there's one surviving child. And to Auntie Kavohi Kukapulani on the Big Island, mahalo for knowing about this award and being so supportive. You're here with us, and I hope we're with you when this award is given out this evening.
Thank you.
We'd like to talk a little bit now about Dorothy Gillette. You know, they gave an award specifically. It was called the Keali'i Pawahi Award. And for many, many years, this award had not been given out. The Order of Keali'i Pawahi was always been given to someone who has been a true friend indeed of Kamehameha. And you know, Dorothy Gillette did graduate from Kamehameha in 1936. She has always been there. I was singing in the choir with the Centennial. Both of us were in the Centennial Choir. So we were both under your direction, Dorothy. I hope you're listening and watching, because a lot of this is just for you, especially in your honor. Many don't know that she comes from a line and a tradition of musicians. Her mother is Dorothy Kahananui. At this time, we'd like to go, while the scores are being added up, it's time for what has become a very important part of each song contest.
Lisa Yadao is in the main stage, and we'd like to go to her right now for some insight into tonight's performance of Ho'ike.
Thank you, Robin. More than 200 years have passed since the arrival of Captain Cook, and in that time, Hawaii has changed dramatically. By the mid-19th century, it seemed to many that the Hawaiian people were destined for extinction. Then, in 1838, Lydia Kamehameha was born, a shining ray of hope for the Hawaiian kingdom. In tonight's Ho'ike, we see the story of her life and her nation.
For the students of Kamehameha schools, the statement, "Imuai na poki'i," forward my young brothers, embraces the essence of the future. These young men and women are experiencing a spirit of rebirth and rejuvenation of the Hawaiian culture, language, and dance. This year's Ho'ike addresses this momentum.
Imuai na poki'i, which really means go forward, young brothers, says to the Hawaiian people today that they really need to continue on forward. No matter how bitter the waters may be, because there's no turning back. And given the climate of things in Hawaii at this point in time, the awareness of sovereignty issues and the recent observances of the overthrow of the kingdom, we want to make a statement to the Hawaiian people saying, well, now what are we going to do? Well, we have to keep going forward. And so when we look at the theme of Ho'ike, E Ola Mau E Kalahui, we're pretty much saying the same thing in a different way. We're saying we're going to live on forever. We were here for a couple thousand years, and within the last century or two, we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. But we're still here, so we're going to continue on into the future with this statement of E Ola Mau E Kalahui, long live the Hawaiian people.
In designing this year's Ho'ike, Randy Fong chose to start with the Kumulipo, the creation chant, which captures the creation of the universe and the birth of Lili'uokalani.
A lot of people don't realize that Lili'uokalani played a major role in the translation of that epic work. But we feel it's important because it highlights her connection with the creation of the world. It really is a genealogy. At the very same time, we're going to illustrate the birth of Lili'u herself, because the birth of the universe and the birth of Lili'uokalani go together very nicely. But also there's a birth of a new nation there as well. So we constantly talk about birth and rebirth as the cycle of life. And so that's some of the underlying concepts with starting with the Kumulipo this year.
Next, the students look at one of Lili'uokalani's kapu, a fire kapu which gave her the right to burn torches at midday and through the night.
This is not just a fire dance. If this is not done right, we don't do it at all, because you just don't stand up and talk about her kapu that way. You're actually observing her kapu by doing the dance and by having flames present. So it becomes much more than simply a performance. Through that, I think students are getting a better idea, we all are getting a better idea of what it's like to treat Ali'i.
Through hula, we'll see a lady-in-waiting as she observes the events in the throne room on the day of Lili'uokalani's coronation. And the beloved side of Lili'uokalani will be seen through a beautiful song in hula, Makalapua, in the Queen's honor. Finally, events surrounding the overthrow came to light. We'll see and feel the pain Lili'uokalani felt as the Marines take away the Hawaiian flag.
At the very end of the Ho'ike, we close it up with this quantum leap to the future, and take a look at what a pledge to the new Hawaiian nation might sound like. Care for the streams and the land, to be like a shark and to boldly protect one's culture, to be like fibers of olona and bind the people together. We end with these statements, these charges, really, these challenges to the Hawaiian people to go on and move to the highest summits, because there's just no turning back. We've come too far. And that the hope for Hawaiian people is real. It's not away. It's not unattainable, no matter how we've been brought up to think. I think that those of our kupuna who are living around the same time or shortly after either the event of the overthrow or the death of the Uokalani, I think they still, whether they know it or not, they still hold on to this very true, very sincere manner that is a mirror back into the last century. Their demeanor, their view of life. And there's much that we can learn about our past by looking at the kupuna who are still with us.
We want to move forward as a people. We must unite together with kindness in our hearts and with humility. From within, not only from the mouth, but also from the heart. We should teach our children the Hawaiian language when they are very young. We shouldn't wait until they are very old. Childhood is indeed the perfect time to teach our children what is right.
Well, you know, we're in an intermission right now, and the people are kind of browsing around, but we should be starting soon. What they're going to open up with is Kaulananapua.
Actually, it's kind of a nice feeling here because it's like we're having a big party. Everyone's mingling and talking to one another, and very shortly we'll be going into our Ho'ike presentation. But it's nice to see all the people just kind of, you know, milling around and interacting with one another.
Okay, we're getting ready now, and I can see that everyone is settling down. And we are going to be starting off with the song Kaulananapua, being sung by the entire audience with a very special guest dancer, Auntie Flo.
So many things have changed here in our home. And yet, we will always know who we are. We are Hawaiian. That says a lot. What great things we look forward to. And you know, Lili'u is still with us today. Great. Great. Lili'u guides us in our everyday lives. As we plan for our future, let us understand the events of our past.
Before time, before space, before all things came to be, there was Po, the cosmic night. From blackness came heat, moving and growing, causing the sun to burst forth. The sky turned over, and the moon became lit, and the primeval eyes of Makali'i peered down upon the shapeless masses. Kumulipo was born in the night, a male, and Po'ele, a female. Growing things, moving things, creatures of land and sea, all of them formed in perfect balance, everything Pono. Behold, Kumulipo, the birth of the universe. In 1838, on a clear September morning, Lili'u Balania Loloku Kamehameha was born. Her mother, Chiefess Keohokalole, came from a family of poets and historians, those who kept by memory the genealogies and events of the ancestors. It was in her childhood that Lili'u first heard and remembered the words of the Kumulipo. She would be the one to reveal its mysterious and profound beauty to the entire world. O Kalipo Lipo, O Kalipo Okala, O Kalipo Okapo. tradition of Hanai, Keohokalole gave Lili'u to High Chiefess Konia, the mother of Bernice Pawahi, shortly after birth. Each kiss, each touch, she savored, for she knew they would never be as close ever again.
Kalamadu ora no eo, kawai hona o ke akamai, ke ani o polole. Imi anai to mai te ola nui o de la u, ola Hawaii nui o ke. A kauhit buane ne ola tui poni ia o lili uogala ni hei no ai o lolo tui male I the big ola I wari ni rona haku I adu I arve ko hai klaunu e galani I I ro no e lili no kala nui hano hano I ola na maka aina na at kawit puane ane e ola tupua I poni ia o lili o kala ni hei no.
Approaching from a distance, silent tongues of flame quivering skyward, O sacred fire of the ancients, burn brilliantly through the night, through the day. Lift high the ever-blazing torches of Iwikoikawa, revered ancestor of our noble chiefess. This awesome symbol of esteemed lineage affirmed the right of Liliuokalani to assume her position as sovereign of our people. The fiery yellow cloak of mamo feathers, which once rested upon the broad shoulders of Kamehameha the Great, rightfully came into her possession as ruler. Draped behind her, she was kept ever mindful of her responsibility to the Hawaiian people. Let the burning torches laud the chiefess Lili'u, our sacred and beloved queen.
Ahi he taputai toponia o lili umaunili te tapu kala ulama I ka pai moku ka ila halania e ta imei ana no hi ulama mala ina lama ho mahala malama I ke kaona o nao na maka o kalahui I ke kui a mau I ke awakea no hikula mala ina lama o mahala malama I ke kaona o nao na maka o kalahui I ke kui a mau I ke awakea Urele ia na manu I luna hai ke ahi mola le I ola ni hale Ie lana ole puoi Momo kuhula li ana panapa Ia na manu I luna e ke ahi mola le I ola ni hale Ie launa o e puoina Momo kuhula li ana panapa Pera ku aina I te ahi tapue O oilina ahi a Iwikau I kaua E ola ka mo I no nā te ahi O lili ui ka iu ka pua kalani Vela ku'u aina I ke ahi kapue Ho oilina ahi a Iwikau I kaua E ola ka mo I no nā ke ahi O lili ui ka iu ka pua kalani Ola pute ahi he taputahi Po honi ia o lili u mauhili I ke kapu Kala ula mai I ka pae moku Ka ila halangia e ta I mai ana
Who could forget that day in the throne room? Roses everywhere. Your necklace shimmered like the dew in the rainforest. Your brocaded train swayed behind you like the ebbing sea at Hamo Hamo. You were so beautiful, Your Majesty, absolutely stunning. You must have heard the cheers from outside the palace. Long live the Queen! And you smiled. And I smiled too. Oh, what a glorious time we had in the throne room, Your Majesty. Simply glorious.
Ua vehi lei vehi oe e ku'ulani.
Ua vehi lei vehi oe ku'ulani. I nā pua lei pua rose o nā one. Ko ala nu he aka ui honi. I ke ana kala unu kou vai. Ua vehi lei vehi oe ku'ulani. I nā pua lei pua rose o nā one. Ko ala nu he aka ui honi. I ke ana kala unu kou vai. Kohu kou lei kai mana lino lino. Me ke haulohi o ka maukele. Kohu a kalika lau niho niho. Me ke kai emi a o hamo hamo. Kohu kou lei kai mana lino lino. Me ke haulohi o ka maukele. Kohu a kalika lau niho niho. Me ke kai emi a o hamo hamo. Ko hehi kamae hui ke kapeka. Peresia oni oni o uli uli. Uli pu I wai ke oho waho. Helili uo kalani e o la mau. Ko hehi kamae hui ke kapeka. Peresia oni oni o uli uli. Uli pu I wai ke oho waho. Helili uo kalani e o la mau. Kuhae kalau nu veloha aheo. Ika ni o ka upoku I ola ni hale. Ha ina koue e ku'ulani. Holili uke kuini o ka lahu. Kuhae kalau nu veloha aheo. Ika ni o ka upoku I ola ni hale. Ha ina koue e ku'ulani. Holili uke kuini o ka lahu. Haina koue e ku'ulani. Holili uke kuini o ka lahui. Haina koue e ku'ulani. Holili uke kuini o ka lahui.
The Hawaiian people admired the Queen. Lili'u had the support and love of her people throughout the kingdom. This was the foundation upon which she would depend heavily in the years to come. One day, Naha Harbottle, a close friend, paid her an unplanned visit. While others had brought elegant and elaborate gifts for Lili'u, Naha's gift was a simple song. As her eyes met the Queen's, she was overcome with emotion. She began to chant.
O makalakua ulumalie, o kale, o kamakaeha, nale, nali awaine, na waine kiene pua, hai hai pua kamani paupu pua ki, ile o veve no kawaine, e valea, ai o aukele, I kaliko I o mauna. Hei noa no, Lydia, Lili'u, Kamehameha.
For 2 years, the Queen struggled to keep alive what was left of our native rights. But the greed of American businessmen prevailed. The self-proclaimed provisional government, assisted by military forces of the United States, executed their plans to threaten her, to humiliate her, to destroy her.
Responsible citizens of Hawaii, our God-fearing forefathers brought hope and salvation to this desolate chain of islands. And now in these turbulent times, the freedom and the prosperity which our descendants so justly deserved is being threatened by the strains of the very same archaic and barbaric influences that our forebears sought to undo. This, my friends, must cease immediately, and so to the purpose. We the citizens and residents of the Hawaiian Islands, acting for the public safety and the common good, hereby proclaim as follows. 1. The Hawaiian monarchical system of government is hereby abolished. 2. A provisional government is hereby established to exist until terms of union with the United States of America have been negotiated and agreed upon. And 3, all officers under the existing government are hereby requested to continue their functions with the exception, and this is very important, with the exception of Queen Liliuokalani and her supporters. Friends, rest assured, the Queen is no more.
That afternoon, the Queen left Iolani Palace and walked back to her home at Washington Place alone. This is the darkest moment in Hawaiian history. After many years had passed, the elderly Lili'u wrote, "I could not turn back the time for the political change, but there is still time to save our heritage. You must remember never to cease to act because you fear you may fail. The way to lose an earthly kingdom is to be too flexible, tolerant of too many wrongs, and without judgment at all. It is a razor's edge. It is a width of pili grass. All things in the world are two. In heaven, there is but one." Lili'u was right. Today, as we approach the dawn of the 21st century, we look to our young people to proudly carry our race forward. Indeed, the birth of a new nation is at hand.
I pledge allegiance to my people, the Kanaka Maoli of this land. I will care for the Aina as it has cared for my people for generations. I will care for the streams, ocean, and beaches which bring us life. I will always remember my kupuna, those with us and those who have passed. I will continue Olelo, my native language. I will be like the shark and boldly protect my heritage. I will be like the Olona and bind my people together. I will be like the hawk, always searching beyond the horizon. And above all, I will praise and give thanks to Keakua, maker of all things. Imua! Imua! Imua e nā pōki'i! Imua e nā pōki'i! Imua! Imua! Imua e nā pōki'i! Imua e nā pōki'i! Imua! Imua! Imua e nā pōki'i! Imua e nā pōki'i! Ai nui ka vai awa awa.
Naka olona hae, lo kahika ohana e kalo e, mo halukini pua ko ali e. Koa kuwa anui e koa e, havele naka olona hae, lo kahika ohana e kalo e, mo halukini pua ko ali e. Kia iwi o ole e manoe, pilipu koa e hilue, hui kalai na he wali mukala e, kula na haa pupu e. Kia iwi o ole e manoe, kia iwi o ole e manoe, pilipu koa e hilue, hui kalai na he wali mukala e, kula na haa pupu e. Keha wale oe e ioe, ho ola hou ia hue oe, lupa kana hele e kaua e, kau makai na iwi hoku e. Keha wale oe e ioe, ho ola hou ia hue oe, lupa kana hele e kaua e, kau makai na iwi hoku e. Imua e nā poki, ai nui ka vai a wawa e, kukupa ui ka nuku i ka vekiu, a o he hope ho i mai ai e, a o he hope ho i mai ai e.
Sacred like the bones of my pupuna. Eola! Eola! Eola mo! Eola! Eola mo! Eola! Eola mo! Eola mo e ka la hui.
Well, everyone here in the arena tonight is rising to their feet, obviously very proud of being Hawaiians.
For all Hawaiians to live and to let the race live. Eolad mau kalahu, right?
Long live the Hawaiian race. Very moving ho'ike.
Okay, we have finished Ho'ike. Okay, we have finished Ho'ike, and we are now ready to get into Maka. This is Maka Addington, who is the SKS Coordinator of Student Activities. His parents are Ronald Addington and Susan Duque.
Competition ends we arrive at the most exciting portion of tonight's song contest. Each class is now wondering whose voices have captured the awards. We begin with the Louisa O. McGregor Award. This award is given to the student director who exhibits the best organization, leadership, and dedication throughout rehearsals. Mrs. Calvin McGregor will announce this year's recipient.
It gives me great pleasure to present this Louisa O. McGregor Award to two recipients, Elena
Okay, there it was.
This is Elena's second year as winning the McGregor Award, and this is Monty's, very impressive, this is Monty's first year as a leader, and he has also been able to win the McGregor Award. Very, very good leaders.
Listen, they are wonderful, wonderful leaders. They deserve it. You know that this award is presented by the music staff at Kamehameha School, and it's from day one when the leader is chosen till now, where we have seen the growth of the leader, how well they have led their class, and how well they've needed to do other things with their class.
The Helen Deshay Beamer Award recognizes the best musical presentation by a specific group. This award honors the significant contributions of Helen Shea Beamer to the world of Hawaiian music. Ms. Raki Tokuhara will present this award.
It is a great pleasure and an honor to present the first Helen Deshay Beamer Award on behalf of the Alumni Association. With a total possible score of 108 and scoring 108, Ualana Kila Kamele o Kaho'olawe.
Okay. The first time this award has been given, and it is to the co-ed competition for our song, the Ho'olawe. There's pandemonium. The juniors are so happy and so pleased, and they have worked very, very hard.
How about them win a perfect score?
Perfect score. I don't know when that has happened. That has not happened in a long time, but just
terrific. Must be that color green.
I guess so. Green is the color.
Green.
Okay, we are now finished. This is the first time presentation of the Helen Deshay Beamer Award. It goes to the junior class. Now we are going over to the Olelo Makuahine Award.
In honor of former trustee, Mr. Richard Lyman Jr., the Olelo Makuahine Award became part of our presentation in 1989. This award recognizes the specific group who has achieved superiority in the usage of Hawaiian language in their song. Dr. Michael Chun will present this award.
This was a very close contest. Out of a total points of 108 points, the winning class scored 102, junior class.
That's the junior co-ed with 102 points out of a possible 108. Wow. If my memory serves me correctly, they tied for the same award when they were freshmen.
Yes, I know. You know, the junior class, this is for the junior class presentation, Kaho'olawe. Again, this is for an individual song that is done by a class. The junior class has done it again. I don't know, gang, out there watching and here. So far, the juniors have really scored. They have done a fine job. Let's go on now to the men's competition.
The George Allenson Andrus Cup is awarded to the men whose voices have endeared the hearts and ears of the judges. Mr. Anthony Ramos will have the honor of presenting this award.
Out of a total possible points of 204 points, the total points for the winner was 166 points, and those are the junior men.
Well, it looks like the color green rules tonight so far. It's the junior men with their performance of Kalaha Nau Kana'i Okuni.
Here we go, okay. The juniors once again. This is the third award that they have won as a class. They have also tied with their leader, Monty McCumber, for the McGregor Award. I don't know if this is turning out to be a rout or not, but the juniors certainly have worked hard.
There's Monty savoring every moment of it.
Deserve it. We are now moving over to the women's competition, the New England Mothers Cup, and we will now have that presentation.
In 1922, Mrs. E.G. Scoville donated the New England Mothers Cup to the winner of the women's competition. Mrs. Baina Chun will present this award.
Scoring 195 points out of a possible 204, Navahine Nona Kaponi.
For the first time in history since the contest has moved to the Blaisdell Arena, the sophomore women have won the women's competition.
You know, when they had the competition, we knew something was in the air, and the sophomore women, I truly believe, served notice when they sang to the other girls. They did a beautiful job, and they have been awarded with the points and the New England Mothers Cup. I don't know when the last time a sophomore class has won.
Well, class of 1984 did tie in 1982, the boys, but the last time purple was worn and the sophomores won, it was 1974, class of 76.
We got to move on now, and we have now the combined class competition, the Charles E. King Cup.
We will end tonight's awards ceremony with the presentation of our most coveted treasure, the Charles E. King Cup. The judges award this trophy to the class who has successfully combined the strength and beauty of language and voice. Trustee Myron Thompson will present this award.
Aloha, aloha kumihana kako. I know that everyone here tonight, and those of you who are peeled in front of Channel 2, will join me in applauding all of our students for an excellent performance. Each of you students brings pride to yourselves, to our families, to our ohana of the Kamehameha School's Bishop Estate, to the people of Hawaii. And because of all of you, we will leave here all winners tonight. And now it's my pleasure and honor to announce the most impressive group out of a... This happens in my office every day. Out of a total points of 204, this class earned 198 points, the junior class.
There it is. So predictable. The juniors have won the co-ed cup. The juniors have won the men's competition. They have won the Olele Mapua Hine Cup. They have won the Halimeshe Bino Cup. The only cup that escaped them was the sophomore girls who won the New England Mothers Cup. What a wonderful competition, Robin.
This has been a terrific competition, and as Trustee Thompson said, we will indeed all leave here tonight as winners because of the great efforts that our future leaders have put forth tonight.
The song contest is just one of the events that Kamehameha Schools does during the school year, but you know it has become the shining moment for the schools and for the students to show the talents. I believe that the talents have been shown by all the classes. It is a competition. It started in 1922, and this particular competition has grown to include more than just a girls' competition and a boys' competition, but to encompass every facet that a class must do and learn for the competition, meaning language, meaning the musicality, the presentation, the amount of work that the leader must have in terms of drawing the class together to sing as one. It's very difficult because you have a class that is rejoicing and having a wonderful time because they've worked hard, and every class has worked as hard, Robin, every class. It's just a matter that there must be a winner, and the points and the judges have determined that particular winner.
Now the sophomores are rejoicing, the juniors are rejoicing.
And actually, we're waiting for the leaders to come up so that we can end with Hawaii Pono'i. I think that needs to happen, but right now, it's still pandemonium in the junior class. You know, while I have a chance, I wanted to go back to the ho'ike just for a moment, and that was that you saw the Hawaiian flag being lowered, and after the provisional government speech, and Lili'u witnessing that. We do know historically that the flag that was lowered was the crown flag, meaning the flag that flew over Iolani Palace, which did not have the Union Jack in the upper left-hand corner. We did use the flag to represent the struggle of a nation and of the people. So again, the ho'ike and all the songs that were sung are helping to lead the young people into a direction, into a future. And very different for Kamehameha is to end with Hawaii Pono'i rather than to begin with it. Hawaii Pono'i, you know, is the song which is the national anthem of the Kingdom of Hawaii, which was then taken and moved over to the state anthem of the state of Hawaii. It is a very dear song written by Henry Berger, and it incites people to be very proud of Hawaii and be like Kamehameha.
Right. Co-written by our King David Kalakaua.
So for those in the audience, I hope you know the words. Please sing along with us because this song belongs to all of us who live here in Hawaii. Hawaii Pono'i. For the Hawaiian people.
And certainly each student, everyone here tonight, understands that they stand at the threshold of a new era in Hawaii.
Wayne, Robin, these are the Hawaiians of the future. They look to the future. There is no turning back.
For Elisa Yadao and Robin Makua, this is Wayne Chang. Thank you for joining us. Imua Inapoki.